sit in your lap at this point.
There.
Literally.
That never gotta sweat that. You could bet that never gotta sweat that. You could bet that never gotta sweat.
Hey everyone, welcome back to our podcast, Reveal and Heal. I'm Ryan.
I'm Kylisha.
And today we're talking about money. Money. How do you save? How do you spend? All that good stuff.
I am an avid saver. And I know people probably don't know that about me because I always look like I'm spending money or whatever, but I have really learned over the last few years to live below my means. And I always make sure I pay myself first on a payday. And how I pay myself first, so growing up, my dad was very frugal with money. Like, he had money, but he wouldn't even give me $5 to go swimming at Kensington. Like, he would never give me anything. Whereas my mom, who didn't have much, would always give me whatever she had.
It's not always the way.
Yeah.
Not always the way.
But it's actually funny to me because this is just like kind of side note. But a few years ago, or maybe it was last year, I was suggested a book to read. And I was in the same thing. Like, I started getting like my dad, like, I just save. I didn't want to share money. I didn't want to go on vacations. I just wanted to stay in Saskatoon and save money. The occasional little winners or home sends, whatever. And then things started kind of going sideways a little bit. Like, we needed money for like various things. And then I learned that I was putting so much energy on not spending my money. There were ways were going to come up that were going to make me have to spend it.
That makes sense.
So I started to just kind of be like, okay, whatever I spend kind of comes back multiplied. Like, just things like that, right? But I know, like, you have a different, not struggle with money, but struggle with money.
Not struggle, but struggle. I guess I would say I have a different relationship with money. But I mean, at the same time, I've always just grown up with a family that's, you live paycheck to paycheck, paying for bills. There isn't a lot to save left over. You make, I guess, the ability to go to a movie once in a while, or like, like one of those treats kind of things.
Yeah.
But it's not like you had endless money to just save. Like, every amount that you had in that paycheck had to go towards a bill or something. And I think that's one thing where I've gone through like ups and downs. Like, I've had spectacular times where I'm like so good with my money, saving it, spending it wisely, investing it, all that kind of stuff. And then I've had moments where I've just pummeled and I just can't get ahead.
Yeah.
Like, it's just a cycle. And I'm even on that cycle now with like all the, relationship changes, home changes, like everything, and trying to get back into that groove. But I think that's where, like, working with a financial advisor and getting like tips on how to do that, really putting in a budget and tracking my expenses is helping.
So something that's really helped me set those goals and be able to meet those saving goals I have for myself are, like I said, living below my means, paying myself first, but also not spending money until I get money. And I know a lot of times people are like, oh, but you're going to get paid, you might as well just go out and spend the money. But then what ends up happening is I will spend the money when I really shouldn't be spending money, and then I'll spend money again when I get money. So then you're double dipping, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Another thing I started doing, because yes, I know what you mean about like, oh, I got to pay this bill. Bills need to be paid. So in Saskatoon, none of like your energy or water bill is covered through your property tax, right? So
Right.
I would handle those bills. And I remember, because it gets so cold there in the wintertime, so the energy and heat bill would be like $300 for the month, because you're paid per month. But what I started doing though is I was like, okay, on this pay I'm going to pay this much toward this bill, and then on the next pay I'm going to pay. I'm going to split it up. That way I'm still able to save some money.
It doesn't feel like such a huge chunk all at one time.
No, it doesn't, because I think too, like, there is, you got to pay all your bills, but then you're paying all your bills and you have nothing left for yourself.
That's one thing I did notice. Like, okay, so even when I was struggling financially, trying to like manage everything, I found that when I took $25, not even a lot, just $25 a paycheck aside. That's only $50 a month. But like, it was more than I had, but it was that respect for money and having a relationship with money and not being scared to like really get comfortable with like your financial state and like, okay, understand, recognize, and being like, because I find I feel bad taking that $25 away, for example, in a paycheck when I'm like, oh, but this could have gone towards like more groceries or something, like, you know what I mean? But I could use this now. Why am I putting it aside? But I found that the more I put that $25 aside and it grew, and the more that I saved, I felt a sense of achievement and accomplishment of even having that little bit of money aside.
Yeah, like another thing I do for myself is I have reminders in my phone. So 6 months before Christmas, I'll put a reminder in like each pay to put $100 away for Christmas. That way, when Christmas rolls around, I have $1,200 for Christmas. That is like money that doesn't exist, right? It's just basically like money that I put aside. So I have those little reminders and stuff like that. But two, another thing that I find that helps me save money is I sign up for like all those H&M apps, McDonald's apps. Like I don't really eat McDonald's, but I know my kids do. So if I'm able to save money somewhere, I'm going to try my best to save money anywhere I can. I will cut all the corners. Even the other week when we had moved into the house and went to Walmart and the mop was the price, I'm like, hold on, it's free. And Rand's like, it's free. I'm like, yes, that is a rule in Canada. If you ring in something and if it comes up with the wrong price, it is free up to $10, or they have to take $10 off of the price of the item.
See, I gotta hang with this chick more. You know, that's one thing that like, yeah, you were saying that, and I totally did not know that at all. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. And you know what? I don't do the apps because I don't want my credit card connected to all these things.
Oh, I don't connect my credit card to anything.
Yeah, but when you pay through the apps, you have to pay a lot of the time.
If, like for instance at McDonald's, I'll just give them the code.
Oh, see, so I just ignore that. So my kids now get like each paycheck, you get one treat day. So like, okay, we got paid this Thursday, so what do you want for your treat dinner?
Is there a limit on the
weekend?
treat?
My kids are predictable. It's like, what do you want for dinner? They'll either choose pizza or they're gonna choose A&W or McDonald's or something.
But that's their one thing every 2 weeks.
Exactly. It's like, okay, and I make them like change, either like if one chooses this week then the next chooses the other week, or they do it together. They choose together.
So do you reward them? Is this like based on like helping out around the house, or is just like
this is just like our treat?
Oh, okay.
Like dinner, because making sure that I cook at home every day and like that continues to be like a healthy whole foods kind of meal. It gives me a treat from not having to cook, and it gives them a treat saying, oh, we still get to like, you know, eat at McDonald's or eat out of some sort that they like to have, right?
Yeah, like I'm really struggling right now with trying to get my kids to save money, I guess. Simone, not so much, because she is very much like, I don't want to spend my money, but I want to spend your money.
Oh, aren't they all like that? Aren't they all like that?
Whereas Natalia's like, yeah, party over here. I got $50. I'm going to the mall. And then she would call him, oh, I need money. And I'm like, did you do chores at the house? You don't get no money. I'm not giving you extra.
So you know what the funny thing is? My kids have always done chores in the house, but I've never paid them for chores ever, because I wanted them to understand that you have to do, like, you have to upkeep your house. Like, you live here, you're part of it, you upkeep it. However, because they'll go to school and they'll have like a school store and they'll want to buy chips or this, and they're always asking me for money, and the tooth fairy only comes so often. Like, so now they have like their regular chores that they do on their chore chart, but then I add an additional chore a day that needs to be completed. And so therefore every 2 weeks, they are young, so they don't need a lot of money. So every 2 weeks they will get $10 if they do every chore every day that is required of them. If they miss a day of doing the chore, they get $1 deducted.
Oh, okay.
So $1 a day, and you get deducted $1 if you don't do it.
You've set the expectations way too high, way too soon for my kids. Because I told Simone last week, I'm like, if you help me reorganize the kitchen, I will give you $10. And she was fine with that. She's like, okay, fine. And Natalia was like, only $10. How about you give me 40? And I'm like, how about you go upstairs?
Oh, see,
No.
something like that they wouldn't get money for. It'd be like, come help me do this, and then we'll watch a movie.
But I
or
just
go to the
remembered I
doctor.
still haven't paid Simone yet. I forgot all about it.
My kids get their allowance money when I get paid. So they're like,
That's smart though. That's what I'm going to start doing too, because then it's like, okay, you'll get paid when I
pretty
get
much,
paid.
right? And that's exactly
Yeah.
like I can chuck out those $20 every couple weeks, $10 each. Here you go. But now it gives them money to allow them to handle it and learn to save it and learn to spend it responsibly, because now they want a spurt toy. Okay, well, you don't have enough, so you've got to save that money and stop going to school and buying stuff at the store
Yeah.
so that you can afford that.
We touched on this in our self-care video, but another thing that helped me be able to save more money was learning to do all of the at-home beauty treatments I wanted to do myself. If you have a full-time job and if you have medical benefits,
Make use of them.
use those benefits. I will make sure I go get a nice little massage. I get basically 10 a year. I will go like clockwork. Speaking of it, our insurance just got refreshed with another person. I'm going to be at that spot every 2 weeks until the end of the year.
But honestly, that's the one thing I think a lot of people don't understand. They're like, oh, I don't use my benefits because, like, whatever, I don't
You're
need
paying
to,
for
whatever.
them.
But you're paying for it
Yes.
anyways, so you might as well get the benefit that you are paying for and enjoy it, whether it be the chiropractor, whether it be RMT, whether it be physio, like anything, like go and do it.
I suffer from hyperhidrosis, which is like excessive sweating. And I'm now able to get it covered under my medical benefits. It did take, I think, a year or two to be able to do it. But that's like $1,500 that I don't have to pay out of pocket to get it done. And I'm telling you, I would not be paying no $1,500 out of pocket. So I would just have to walk around sweating and wearing black all the time.
What I started doing is glasses. Like, I need glasses because Lord knows I'm blind as a bat. So I have to wear glasses or contacts, but those things are expensive. But like when you go online, for example, get Clearly contacts or like kits or something like that, it's cheaper.
Oh,
and
yeah.
you can submit those things in there and covers costs. But if you don't wear glasses, what you can do is have like a really low prescription and get like the low prescription like sunglasses. For example, like a designer sunglasses that you want.
Oh, you can get
and
that
you can get the we'll get the lenses switched out to being regular lenses afterwards. So then they're covered under your thing because you're getting a prescription level sunglasses, but then you just change the lens. So that's just normal.
I never knew that. And this is just side note, and it may not be related to what we're talking about, but I do want to talk about making sure as a woman, you do have your own bank account and your own money. Because I have seen way too many women in my day be burned by putting everything on the man or having a joint bank account. And that's all great and stuff, but you still need to stash your own little bit of money away and have your own savings for a rainy day.
You know, I seen this guy on IG and he was like saying, and he was advocating for women to like make sure they have their own savings or whatever. And he was saying like, oh, my dad and my mom were married for 20 years. You know, my mom was a stay-at-home wife and mom for that whole time. And my dad just had money, so he paid for everything, etc. But then his dad left for a younger woman and whatnot. But his mom got burnt because she had, well, she didn't get burnt because she had her prenup, but she also like was smart and money that she would get from allowance or whatever, she put
would
some
save it away.
aside.
Good for her.
But not every woman thinks that way or is like that, and
Or-
then they just let it all.
A lot of women don't get allowance, right?
Fair.
Yeah, and all the money, it's just like, oh, pours back into the
Just
house. Or I
trusting
feel
the-
bad for putting money away because he's doing everything he's taking care of me. But I will say this. My mother-in-law was the one that told me, make sure, and I already knew this from before, but she was like, make sure you have everything set up because shit can happen quick.
Well, she's gotten burnt.
Exactly. But I really appreciate that because
She was looking out for you, though.
she was looking
really
out for me.
you.
Wes and I are fine. I'm just saying that.
No, but like it's one of those things like you never know what the future's going to hold, and at this point in time, you have to think it's Wes's second marriage,
Yeah.
right? So, and she's now divorced and whatnot, so like anything can happen. And it's like one of those things of the older generation just looking after the younger generation of women.
And like too, what I thought was really interesting that she said to me, she was like, if something were to ever happen and if you guys were to ever split up, get divorced, whatever, make sure you buy a house. Make sure you do not rent, because that's just money really being wasted. Sorry, this must have died. Yeah, it did. Oops, forgot to charge it. Hold on.
But you know what? That's like, I 100% agree. Because when, you know, I separated, I took the money that we had got from selling our house and I purchased a condo with it. Because there was absolutely no way in my mind, I was like, am I not going to have an investment? Like, how am I going to save up this much money for a down payment again? Being a single mom of 2 kids and things, like, no, I've got to put that towards something that can generate future wealth for me and my kids.
And that was really smart for you to do. Like, even Wes is like, damn, that was so smart of Ryan to do, was to take that money and purchase a home, right?
Home, realistically, is the only thing that can truly, in the long run, provide you, like, increase in your investment at the end of the day. You're not going to lose from investing in property.
No, this thing keeps beeping, so I'm just trying to turn it off. Oh, I fucking forgot to press record. That's why it was buzzing. And lastly, I just want to touch on the topic, like, remember, you do not have to spend money to have fun. So I remember, like, even as a kid, your mom actually said that to me one time, because my dad was always like, oh, I can't come see you because I don't have any money, whatever. And
right,
she's like, you don't have to have, and I was like, and that just stuck with me forever. You don't have to have money to have fun.
Yeah, my kids do game nights all the time, movie nights. I make them scavenger hunts and treasure hunts around the house, just using materials that I have in the house and just getting creative and crafting. We bake together. I incorporate them in helping cook dinners and stuff, and put on the music loud, and we dance party while we're cooking.
It's just so expensive nowadays to like go do anything. Like if you go to a movie, if you
it's so expensive.
You go to a movie with a family and you pay for tickets. Like, yeah, you can get the tickets and stuff like that from Costco and save money on those, but really, you're going to just go to the movie. Then when you buy the popcorn and the food and stuff, it's going to be like $80 by the time it's all said and done. Yeah. That's why I don't go to the movies.
That's why I bring my own food in. You don't have to spend money to make good memories. And the majority of the memories that your kids are going to remember are simply the ones of you spending time with them and doing things with them that involve no money, that require you to just
It's
create.
so funny, because I just seen a TikTok the other day and this mom was like, or no, it was a kid, or sorry, a son, but he was like older, and he's like, I know when my mom came home from, like, you know what I mean, working 2 jobs, and she was just exhausted, and she's like, oh, we're gonna just have pizza night. And he's like, that was where the memories I remember. It wasn't when my mom like did this big dinner. It was when she came home and she was like, let's just have McDonald's or pizza or something like that, and we would just watch a movie or have a chill night. He's like, those are the things I remember.
Those are the best things.
I really enjoy buying new workout clothes. It really motivates me to work out. So what I do is I go on Lululemon We Made Too Much, and that's like the sale items on Lululemon, which is just the last season, but you can find great stuff on there at a reasonable price.
Not so reasonable in my book, but yeah, keep going.
We had already recorded all this, but I didn't push record, so that's why she's looking at me weird. Like, girl, we have already done this.
This is a work in progress. A work in progress.
First, we thought we had the friggin' mic on, but Mike was buzzing, it wasn't even on, and then, oh, that's my oven.
Oh, what you?
But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and we will see you guys in our next podcast.
And always pay yourself first. Yeah.
Bye.
Gotta sweat that. You could bet that. Never 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 gotta sweat that. You could bet that, never gotta sweat that. You could bet that, never gotta sweat that. You could bet that, never gotta sweat that.